Right now, someone in your life is waiting for you to argue back. They want the reaction. They want the raised voice, the justification, the proof that they got to you. Today, you're going to learn why giving them nothing, absolute, unshaken silence, is the most devastating weapon you own. This is the power of emotional silence. Chapter 1. The Trap of the Last Word. You think winning means having the final say. You think if you speak louder, argue harder, and land the sharpest comeback, you walk away the victor. You're wrong. And it's time you understood why. Every word you throw back in anger is a gift. You are handing your opponent proof. Proof that their words landed. Proof that they found the crack in your armor. Proof that they control you. That's not winning. That's surrender dressed up as a fight. Picture the family dinner. Someone brings up something old, something painful, something designed to provoke. The room goes quiet. And you take the bait. You raise your voice. You defend yourself. You explain and explain and explain again. By the time it's over, you've said too much. You've shown too much. And everyone at that table remembers one thing. You lost control. Now picture the other version. The version where you hear the same provocation and you say nothing. You let the silence sit there, heavy and uncomfortable, for them, not for you. You have a choice in that moment. You always have a choice. And choosing silence is choosing power. This happens in offices too. A coworker throws a passive-aggressive comment in a meeting, hoping you'll snap, hoping you'll look unprofessional in front of everyone. The person who fires back looks defensive. The person who says nothing, who simply holds their composure and moves the meeting forward, that person looks untouchable. That's the key. Not the comeback. The composure. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The last word is not a prize. It's a trap. It's the bait that keeps you hooked into someone else's drama, someone else's chaos, someone else's need for control. Every time you take that bait, you hand over a piece of your power. And you don't get it back by winning the argument. You get it back by refusing to play. It's not about proving you're right. It's about proving you don't need to prove anything at all. You don't need their permission to walk away. You don't need their approval to feel at peace. You don't need the last word to know your own worth. Stop chasing the final say. Start choosing the exit. The last word is a trap. Silence is the exit. You've learned the trap. Now let's talk about why walking away from it does something far more powerful than you realize. It terrifies the person trying to pull you in. Chapter 2. Why your silence terrifies them. Here's something you need to understand about people who provoke you. They are not looking for a conversation. They are looking for a reaction. And when you don't give them one, you don't just disappoint them, you destabilize them. Think about it. Every manipulator, every provocateur, every person who thrives on conflict has a script in their head. They say something sharp. You react. They escalate. You react harder. That's the dance they know. That's the dance they've done 100 times before, with 100 different people. It works, until it doesn't. When you refuse to react, you rip the script out of their hands. Suddenly they're improvising. Suddenly they're the one who looks unstable, who looks like they're grasping, who looks like they need something from you that you're simply not giving. That's not weakness on your part. That's the loudest answer you could ever give. Picture the coworker who escalates every disagreement into a personal attack, hoping to bait you into an outburst they can report, an outburst they can use against you. You have a choice. You can give them the outburst, the ammunition, the story they get to tell about you. Or you can give them nothing. Calm eyes. A steady voice. The simple, I hear you, and nothing more. Watch how fast they unravel when the reaction never comes. Or picture the ex-partner who calls, who texts, who shows up looking for the fight that used to define the relationship. They know exactly which words used to work. They know exactly where the old wounds are. But if you've done the work, if you've built the discipline, those words hit a wall now, not a wound. And that wall is silence. This is not about being cold. This is not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's not about suppressing emotion, it's about controlling the exit of it. You don't need their permission to feel calm in front of chaos. You don't need to explain your piece to anyone who's determined to misunderstand it. People who provoke you are testing you. Every single time. And every single time you stay silent, You fail their test in the way that makes you win. You have a choice every time someone tries to pull you into their storm. Silence is not weakness. Silence is the loudest answer you can give. You understand now why it terrifies them. But there's a reason silence works so well on a level deeper than psychology. It's written into your own body. Let's talk about the physiology of staying calm. Chapter 3. The physiology of staying calm. Your body is working against you the moment an argument starts. Cortisol floods your system. Adrenaline spikes. Your heart rate climbs. And your brain, the part responsible for careful, rational thought, starts shutting down in favor of the part built for fight or flight. This is not weakness. This is biology. But here's the key: you have a choice in how you respond to that biology. When you argue back in that state, you are not thinking. You are reacting. Your words come out sloppy, exaggerated, easy to twist, and easy to regret. You say things you don't mean because your body has hijacked your mind. That's not you talking. That's your nervous system talking, and it's a terrible negotiator. Now think about the athlete stepping onto the field in the final seconds of a tied game. Or the negotiator sitting across the table from someone trying to rattle them into a bad deal. What do? They breathe. They slow down. They train their bodies, day after day, to stay level when everything around them is chaos. That training is not talent. It's discipline. And discipline is available to you too. Staying silent in an argument is not just a mental trick, it's a physical reset. When you stop talking, you stop feeding the adrenaline. Your breath slows. Your mind clears. You give your rational brain the chance to come back online while your opponent is still stuck spiraling in theirs. That's the key. Silence isn't just strategy. It's biology working in your favor. It's not about being fearless. It's about being disciplined. Fear will always try to speak first, through your racing heart, your tightened jaw, your urge to defend yourself immediately. But you don't have to listen to it. You don't need permission from your own nervous system to choose calm. You train it the same way an athlete trains a muscle, the same way a negotiator trains their patience. Every time you feel that surge, that pull toward a reaction, recognize it for what it is. It's not truth. It's chemistry. And chemistry can be managed. Breathe. Let the moment pass through you instead of controlling you. That's not the absence of feeling. That's the mastery of it. Calm is not the absence of feeling. Calm is the mastery of it. You've learned to master your body's response. Now let's destroy a myth that's been holding you back. The idea that silence means you're avoiding the fight. Chapter 4. Silence as strategy, not avoidance. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that silence means weakness. That staying quiet means you're scared. That walking away from an argument means you lost. That's a lie, and it's time to bury it for good. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is a decision. And only the disciplined are capable of making it. Anyone can react. Reacting takes no skill, no thought, no strength, just impulse. What takes real strength is standing in the middle of a provocation, feeling the pull to respond, and choosing not to. That's not fear. That's control. And control is worth more than any argument you'll ever win. Think about the leaders who get torn apart publicly, criticized, mocked, provoked in front of thousands of people, and say nothing. Not because they have no response. Because they understand something the crowd doesn't. Not every battle deserves their energy. While the critics scream for a reaction, the disciplined ones stay focused on their work, their goals, their next move. And time after time, it's the silent ones who are vindicated, while the loudest critics fade into irrelevance, forgotten, having spent all their energy on noise that changed nothing. This is the shift you need to make. Stop asking, how do I win this argument? Start asking, does this argument deserve my energy at all? That question alone will save you more peace than any comeback ever could. You don't need to respond to every insult. You don't need to correct every misunderstanding. You don't need to win every debate to prove your worth. It's not about avoiding conflict. It's about choosing your battles with precision instead of emotion. That's the discipline separating people who are respected from people who are simply loud. Your silence is not surrender. Your silence is a filter. It decides what deserves your voice and what doesn't. You have a choice, every single time, to spend your energy proving a point to someone who was never going to listen, or to save that energy for the work, the people, and the life that actually matter. Silence is a decision. Only the disciplined make it. You've learned to use silence as strategy. Now it's time to go deeper, because this can't just be a tactic you pull out during arguments. It has to become who you are. Chapter 5. Rebuilding your identity around composure. Everything you've learned so far is useless if it stays a trick. A technique you pull out only when things get heated will crack the moment you're tired, stressed, or caught off guard. What you need isn't a tactic. What you need is a new identity. There's a difference between someone who tries to stay calm and someone who simply is calm. The first is performing. The second has rebuilt themselves from the inside out. That's the transformation this chapter is about. Think of someone you've known who used to be known as reactive, quick to anger, easy to provoke, the person everyone tiptoed around. And then think about what happens when that same person does the work, day after day, choosing silence over reaction, choosing composure over chaos, until one day, people stop trying to provoke them at all. Because it doesn't work anymore. Their reputation has shifted. They are no longer the one who explodes. They are the one who can't be shaken. And that shift changes everything. How people speak to them, how people treat them, how people respect them in their relationships, their career, and their own sense of self. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens through repetition. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. Every time you stay calm when you want it to explode, you strengthen an identity that no longer needs chaos to feel powerful. That's the key. It's not one silent moment that changes your life. It's the accumulation of every one of them. You don't need permission to become this person. You don't need anyone's approval to start today. It's not about suppressing who you are, it's about becoming someone stronger than the impulses you used to obey. You have a choice, right now, in this moment, to start building that identity, one silence at a time. You are not the noise you refuse to make. You are the calm you choose to keep. That is not a tactic. That is who you are becoming. Conclusion. Every argument you walk away from without a word is a battle you've already won. Every silence you hold is proof that you are no longer controlled by other people's chaos. You don't need the last word. You don't need to prove anything. You need only to stay calm, stay silent, and let your composure speak louder than any argument ever could. Starting today, the next time someone wants a reaction, give them nothing. Give them silence. And watch how fast the power shifts back to you.